Hello again everyone, Age of June here, and we are back casting another League of Legends game. This one does not have any names that I know offhand, but it does have Zac, who I was very interested to see in game. I've seen him once in a game that I was playing in. He was my jungler, and it was pretty interesting really. Aw, first blood already? Alright, well, we'll see what happens there. It was actually quite interesting. I didn't get to see too much of him, as I was bot lane, and he didn't actually end up being able to come down here all that much. But even without it, I got to see him bouncing around a little bit. I've seen him a couple times on the streams and stuff as well, and he's looked pretty entertaining. I really don't know. He's a fairly entertaining looking little character there, running around with his little goopy hands, and he can just jump over walls and stuff. And that, wham! Oh, he missed. Alright, so I'm going to keep an eye down here because we do know that we just saw first blood. I believe it was Caitlyn killing Zilean, but it might have been the other way around. I don't really know, but I know we'll be seeing it very soon. Misfortune, by the way, not Caitlyn. Alright, so here we go. He is slowed, and it is indeed Misfortune killing Zilean. That was not too bad there. Oh, and on the other hand, the other top lane kills were reversed. That looks like a turret died. Hold on. Come on. Oh, come on. Okay. Let's see. Irelia got Miss Nidalee here very low. She does go ahead and turret dive at level 2. Not really the best decision because Nidalee is able to just kite her around the turret and then heal herself up. Really not a good idea to turret dive at level 2. It got pretty close there, but really Irelia would have died either way. So, turret diving at level 2 ends up just giving your enemy a kill. Zac is coming in for a gank. There's his little hop there, which is actually really awesome. It does pop him up. He did apply the red buff to the Zac there, or I mean to Zed. Zac actually doesn't have to worry about dying at the moment. He does have his passive. Lux is able to take down that Zed, but Elise is just killing these Zac blobs. She does end up going down to Lux, though. Actually, no, she goes down to Zed. Zed was able to survive that. He had one blob left, and it was able to bring him back to life. That is his passive, by the way, for those of you who do not know. The Zed passive is that every once in a while when he dies, he has the ability to fall into blobs, and they will reform. It's kind of like the Anivia egg, except you just have to kill 4 weak blobs instead of 1 big egg. And the amount that he regenerates depends on the number of blobs that survive. So, it's a fairly interesting mechanic. I kind of like it. It does definitely make one think of Anivia, but even still, it's awesome. And if you notice there, whenever he does cast a spell, he actually has chunks of himself fall off. And I think that's very interesting. What that actually does is once a chunk falls off, boom, there you go, he can actually step on it. So if he goes over there and steps on it, what that does is it actually gives him health back. It is a percentage of his maximum health, whereas his spells actually cost a percentage of his current health. So if he's low on life, he can actually end up healing himself for far more than he's actually spending, which is really awesome. Ooh, here's a gank incoming from Elise. So alright, I'll get this set up in just a moment. There is the Elise. She did get the speed buff from Zilean. She did go ahead and just hit. Oh, she did land her stun there on the Misfortune. Misfortune is going to go in on that Zilean though, and Zilean does end up going down. Misfortune's actually going in on Caitlyn now. Caitlyn does go ahead and use her shield, but oh, that was very close. Elise is now trying to run away. Misfortune is just ripping her to shreds. Elise also got very close to dying, but neither Caitlyn nor Elise died. But that was actually a really surprising turnaround because that was a 3 versus 2, and the blue team actually came out of that ahead with a kill on Zilean. So, it's definitely not what I was expecting at all, but the Janna and Misfortune were... Oh... Misfortune actually went ahead and used her strut to go in on that Caitlyn. And had Caitlyn not landed her net there, Misfortune probably would have ended up killing her. But anyway, as I was saying, it was actually a really good play by the Janna and Miss Fortune combo that ended up making it so they almost got a triple kill out of that. It would have been better if they did get a triple kill. But honestly, there's not really much they could do about that. And they did survive. Oh, but they did stick around entirely too far. There's the shield on Miss Fortune. She did go ahead and flash out. The Elise is going in on the Janna now, but they're still running away. There is the speed buff on the Elise, but they are able to escape this again without dying. So these two are, my guess is that those two are a duo queue and are able to, oh, it's so close, are able to just coordinate just absolutely wonderfully with each other. And I think that's what's really turning this around. Zach is actually going in. I don't think, no, he almost ended up killing that Zed, but Zed was slightly out of range. Alright, let's go ahead and arrange the scoreboard. We've got Irelia top. Irelia is played by the Jets. She is versus Nidalee, played by Pekingese 1. That's a type of dog. Woof. Alright, mid lane we've got Lux, played by SAGA kasin, or Kasin, versus, is it Elise? No, Elise is the jungle. Versus Zed, played by Fight Spice. Interesting. Muad'Dib. The bot lane, we've got Miss Fortune versus Caitlyn. Miss Fortune is played by Shroeder Jones, and Miss Caitlyn is played by ChaForTea. Pretty sure Cha means tea in one language or another. Could be wrong there, but I definitely think so. Miss Fortune did end up getting a flash out of that alone, and she forced both Caitlyn and Zilean back just by herself. So not bad there. Finally, we've got the supports. We've got Janna, played by RicePanda, versus Zilean, played by Vertiful. And then finally, even though I just said finally, sorry about that, we've got Zach, played by truPOWAH, versus Elise, played by Glorified. Sorry about that. That was my Skype. Oh, they are going in on this Caitlyn. She did just get popped up by that tornado, and she is gone. The Zilean's now trying to escape. The Janna, yeah, her tornado is not up yet, so she was not able to do it. But that was a killing spree for Miss Fortune. So things are really not looking good for the purple team bot lane. And now the Miss Fortune and Janna are able to escape. It looks like they might want to go in on this Zilean. He is getting too far. He does speed himself up so he can get out of this. So he is actually going to escape. Lux is trying to land a couple binds there. Did a decent amount of damage to him, but does not end up killing him. Irelia is pushed to her tower by this Nidalee. She's getting to a slightly above half health, so she's got to be fairly cautious here. Nidalee is kind of ripping her to shreds. I guess because of that sustain she's got, she's able to heal herself, so most of the damage that Irelia is doing to her, she's just able to heal right up. So Irelia is having to play super cautious. If you notice, the Zac is coming in from the bottom. So he's probably, my guess would be actually no, it looks like he's coming in for a gank. I thought he was going to go ahead and just help her push this, or save this lane. But he's actually coming in for the gank. Nidalee's trying to run away now because Irelia went in hard there. The Zac is still coming in. There is his jump. He does jump, but the Nidalee flashes out of it. So she does end up escaping. By the way, if you are on the enemy team from Zac, you can actually step on these and it will crush them and he will not get any health back. I think that is not something that a lot of people know. If you notice there, the Nidalee did not step on it herself. But that is, from what I've heard, I mean, I guess I could be wrong here. So if I'm spreading misinformation, I'm sorry, but I'm almost certain that it is possible, oh, that was close, to go ahead and step on those. Zac just took down Nidalee. Ah, that's what happened. Okay. So, Zac went into this bush, which Nidalee does not have ordered. She does have a trap, but Zac didn't step on the trap, so she has no idea he's there. So she just sees this Irelia, who's actually really low. In comes the charge from Zac. He does jump to her. In comes the Nidalee, stuns her. And the Zac actually used his bouncy ult to go ahead and kill her. So down she goes. She did ward this bush, but unfortunately for her, she warded it while he was in it and charging his jump. So she warded it, and he jumped right on her. He tried to get out of it, but it did not work. So there is a ping here. The Zac did just get picked up by this ward, so the purple team knows to be fairly cautious here. The Zed's actually quite low, so the Zac is probably going to come in on this. He does come in on it. There is the double punch there. Zed does take down that Lux, though, and now Zac is probably going to try to take him down. He's got a lot of health. No, he's just going to hit that tower and fall back. He did get stunned under the tower by that Elise, though, so he's probably going to go down to this. He is definitely going to die the first time, but I have a feeling they're going to kill his blobs before they can... Yeah, he does end up going down before he can come back to life. So he does actually end up dying this time for reals. Goodbye, Zed. It was a good attempt. He probably should have backed off of that tower a lot sooner, but he didn't really know that the Elise was coming up behind him this time. The Janna was apparently pretty far extended here. She does use her ulti to escape. There is the attempted bind there from the Elise. Oh, Janna is probably dead. She does have a shield, but I have a feeling it's going to drop off. Oh, it does not drop off. I was wrong. I thought it was going to drop off just before it explodes, because that's what often happens. But she actually does end up living through that, which is very good on her part. She used her ulti to save herself, followed by that shield to offset the ulti from Caitlyn, and she ended up pulling through. You notice the Nidalee is actually on the defensive now. The Irelia has her on the run. She does have a ward there, so she was able to see the Nidalee, and now she's going in. There is a slow on Nidalee. She's going to try turret diving again, but this time she's level 8. So she's going to do a whole lot better, I thought. But she did get knighted, and she took enough tower shots that Nidalee was able to finish her off. So down goes the Irelia again. She's getting more dangerous, as you saw there. But unfortunately for her, she's just not quite dangerous enough. So Zed and Miss Fortune are both working on this dragon. They did go ahead and get that very important thing. So the dragon does go to the blue team, and that is global gold. They are actually quite far ahead in gold. For this level, for these levels, they are already 3k ahead. Yeah, slightly over 3k actually, but I'm going to just round it to 3k at 12 minutes is actually a huge difference. Oop. There is the death of Lux. Alright, Lux was here. Slightly above a quarter health, or slightly less than a quarter health gone. Oh, she used her stun on the minions, which was a terrible move on her part, because as soon as she did that, Zed went, okay, I'll kill you. And he did just that. He went ahead and jumped in there, used his ulti, used everything he had, and she didn't have any way to bind him there, so he did end up going down. Elise looks like she's actually waiting for the Zac, because she knows that this blue buff is up. Oh, she's going to go ahead and steal it. Zac has no idea, so he is actually going to defend mid tower, but the Elise actually just gave blue buff to... I can't think of the name. Which is kind of weird because I've said it a whole bunch. Nidalee. Even though, yeah, Nidalee. And Nidalee actually just got a kill on Zac. How did that happen? So busy worrying about her name that I didn't even see it. Yes, by the way, that was my Skype again. So, we know that Zac was here, just kind of chilling at the tower, trying to keep Zed off of it. Nidalee came in. Oh, that's how. Oh, nasty of her. The passive from Zac was not up yet. Not sure what the cooldown on that is. Apparently a 5-minute cooldown. So I didn't notice when the last time he used Cell Division was, but apparently it was within 5 minutes. Good escape there. That's a pretty nice little thing just to get out of that. Also, his ulti's nice too. Ooh, these guys are coming in to go ahead and counter jungle here. Elise is at the blue, and they're going in on her now. She's getting really low, really fast. Oh, she just melted there to Misfortune Janna combo. So they do end up killing her and getting the blue buff out of it. And now it looks like they're probably just going to go back down bottom. Yeah. Lux and Zed are still just playing around mid. The Zed is at half health, so if the Lux can land a combo on him, she could probably end up killing him. Irelia might be wanting to come in on this, but it looks like she's going to go ahead and fall back and go back to the top. Probably a good idea, otherwise she would have just been kind of hanging around here. Zed's actually coming down bottom. The Misfortune and Janna were pretty far extended, but he was picked up by this ward, so they did back off, and as soon as they backed off, he went ahead and fell back as well. Zed's coming in for a gank. He's going to jump over this wall. Nope. He's going to try to jump over that wall and fail, unfortunately. So he does end up falling, or not falling, but he does end up failing that jump, and they are now on the run. Oh, yeah. Nidalee just stepped on the goop, and it immediately died. There is another jump from the Zac. He does jump in on that Elise, she almost died there. She's got really low, and she does come back down. Looks like Miss Fortune's probably going to take her. She does flash to kill her, but the ulti from that Zilean was able to save her, but unfortunately for her it wasn't quite enough, because when she came back to life, they just immediately melted her again. There is a ward here, so they know that they're over there. Wow. Very nice move by the Janna. She did use her shield on herself, followed by that ulti to go ahead and heal herself up enough that she was able to survive that. A couple of Nidalee spears flying around. Irelia just took top tower, and it looks like Zed is working on mid tower. He's probably going to take it because the rest of the purple team isn't even here. Another spear from Nidalee, which did not end up working. Zed, oh, apparently Zed just took down that Zac. Alright, so there's that. We've got Zed coming in, and it looks like he just went ahead and ultied and just bursted him down. The Zac unfortunately did hit the Zed under the tower, which means, of course, that the tower hates him and wanted to kill him. And successfully killed him. He, again, still didn't have cell division up, so he did end up dying. And it is now up that close, which I guess it's probably a good idea, a good thing, really, because had he died right here, the tower would have taken out at least one of his blobs right there, which means that Zed probably would have taken down the other three, and that would have been a completely useless passive. So instead, he ends up keeping the passive, not intentionally by any means, but he does end up keeping the passive, so he does have it to use the next time he needs it. Zed actually just took a large chunk out of that Irelia. He doesn't have his ulti though, so he's not going to be able to kill her. With the ulti, he might actually have been able to do so. Miss Fortune and Janna are actually going back down bottom. I'm going to go push this back, probably a good idea, while Caitlyn is pushing top, and Zilean's actually just warding up around the map from the looks of it. That'd be my guess anyway. No, he's just running. No, he doesn't even have any wards. Wow. Support Zilean with no wards? This is not a good thing. So, there are no wards from the purple team. Actually, neither team has any wards, come to think of it. Nope, there's one. Zed just placed a ward over here at Baron. But if you notice... Oh, well, okay. I was about to say, if you notice, neither of the teams has many wards, but the blue team actually does have decent ward coverage in the enemy jungle. But the purple team has absolutely no wards whatsoever. They've got a ton of traps here, which is something because the traps do give you vision if the enemy steps on them. But they do require that the enemy step on them, and they are visible to the enemy. Granted, a lot of these traps are in bushes, which is a wise course of action for the purple team, because a lot of times you're not going to see them until you get into the bush, and about half the time you're going to step on them then. So they will get vision by that, but they don't have any vision by wards, which is not good for them at all. They definitely need to put some more wards out there. Zed's pushing down bottom. I don't think he's going to get this tower. Zac is coming to push him back if he tries. The lane is pushing, but Zac is here anyway to go ahead and just push him back. So this is going to be safe. Miss Fortune just got this mid tower. So there is the third tower down for the blue team. The purple team actually only has one so far, which is the mid tower. Now there is a ping here. The Zed has Miss Fortune going in on him. He is ultied. He did use his ulti. By the way, he was ignited, not ultied. He went ahead and used his ulti on her to try to take her down, but it did not end up working. She's now just life-stealing up off of this dragon. A lot of life-steal indeed. What is this? Irelia. That's what it is. Irelia was up here playing around with 4 of them. She did flash over that wall to try to get out. I believe she's going to die to that explosion. No! No, she dies to the Nidalee spear. But in the meantime, her team was able to go ahead and grab dragon, which is well worth it. 1 kill for 1 dragon is way, way in the favor of the blue team. And now the blue team's actually going in on this blue buff. The trap actually did pick up there, so the purple team knows that they're there, but the blue team's ward actually picked up the purple team, so the blue team knew that they were there. And again, really shows you the difference there. Had the blue team not stepped on the trap, the purple team would have had no idea where they were. And now the blue team's actually pushing this tower. Does Zilean have wards yet? No, he does not have any wards whatsoever. He also does not have a gold for 5 item. So it actually looks like Zilean's going and just going for straight AP pretty much. Well, not AP, but he's going for a damage build as opposed to a support build. Not really the best decision, in my opinion, because this means that he's not going to be able to support his team like he should. I wonder if he was pushed into this role or something. Caitlyn did just get got by that bind from Lux. She also got hit by a pop-up from Janna, and as such was forced to flash away. Otherwise she would have died. There's another thing. Step on it, Zach. Yes. Heal. Alright, Irelia, in the meantime, is just going to go ahead and split push mid, because why not? The purple team is getting really, really hurt at bot lane, so she went ahead and just pushed up here, and now the rest of the blue team is coming over to help her take this down. It does end up going down, and now they just walk away. There is a ping from the blue team on their blue buff. So it looks like they're probably going to go ahead and get blue buff. My guess would be that it's going to go to Lux, but Lux does have a blue buff already. It's about halfway gone, but I have a feeling they're probably going to end up giving it to somebody else. Zed's going in on this Zach here, though. Zach is trying to get out. He does use his ulti to bounce out of that, so he's probably going to escape. Misfortune's actually going in on Nidalee, as did Lux, but unfortunately for Misfortune, the enemy team is coming up behind her. So they're going to have to try to escape this. The Zed does go ahead and flash over. I believe he ultied her. She does end up going down to him, but the Lux was able to take him down as well before dying herself to Caitlyn. So not too bad there. That ended up being a 2 for 2, which is definitely decent. I don't know if it's really worth it. It would have been nicer if they hadn't died, but it's more worth it for the blue team than it was for the purple team, because actually I don't know, come to think of it, because you've got to factor in the fact that the purple team has died quite a bit, so they might have been worth more. I don't know. It all depends on how much they actually got for that. Oh, very nice shield there by the Janna. Just saved the life of Irelia. Irelia was able to take down that Zilean, and now in comes the Zach going in on the Caitlyn. His jump is down, though, so he's not going to be able to do it. In goes the Janna. She does go ahead and slow down the Caitlyn. Caitlyn was just healed by the Nidalee, though, so she is going to escape. The bot lane is pushing for the purple team into the blue team, but Misfortune looks like she might be hit. No, she's going to go ahead and get red buff. And the rest of the blue team is going back, except for Lux, who it looks like is going for this blue buff that she lost in that little engagement down there. So now she's going to get blue buff back. She didn't have vision on him there, but she didn't care. She was still going in on the small minion. And she's getting him really low. She's going to go ahead and take it. Of course. Yeah, she's obviously not going to have a problem with that. By this level, by this time in the game, Lux will have no problem with blue buff. Misfortune is indeed down bottom after the red buff. She went ahead and she is pushing this up. Zach is here, so he's probably wanting to go ahead and assassinate her. But the Janna is here to counter that, and with her shield, she can off-put a lot of the damage that Zach does. So, I'm not sure. Yeah, he did go ahead and back up. I don't know that going in would have been the best idea had he decided to. Zilean is here to help him, and I believe... No, actually, his ulti is down, so if they do end up getting in a fight, the Zilean will not be able to save him. The Nidalee just got caught off there big time, and she just went down to Misfortune. Misfortune is now chasing after Caitlyn, who is also being attacked by Lux. There is a double kill there for Misfortune, and now the blue team is pushing mid, pinging mid to say go ahead and push it. The Janna went ahead and slowed and popped that Elise. Now Irelia went in on her. The Janna, or the Elise, did end up going up into her ability, but she came down into a Lux stun as well as a Misfortune ulti, so she goes down as well. And now this tower is going to go down because there's nothing the purple team can do about it. Purple team's still pushing. They're definitely going to get this inhibitor. I don't think they're going to push to tower. A lot of times you're not going to see that. No, they are falling back, which is a really good idea. And they're probably... Oh, looks like they're going to Baron. I would have thought they would come up here, but honestly, I could see Baron being a decent decision. The rest of the purple team is coming up, though, so maybe... We'll have to see how it ends up turning out. But honestly, I think it might have been a better idea to go ahead and go for that tower. But on the other hand, again, there are no wards here. There are no wards from the purple team. Oh, there's one ward from the purple team, and it's not at Baron. So it's not picking up any of them. The purple team has no idea that the blue team went in and did Baron, and I don't think they know even now. because Lux was not in vision, but now Misfortune's in vision, and now they know. Misfortune's got double buff and Baron buff, so yeah, she just chunked that Caitlyn down fast. The Elise and Zed are coming in on her. She did get healed by that Janna, but the Zed was able to take her down with his ulti. He did just get popped up. Unfortunately for them, it was so far a 1-for-1, 2-for-1. I was about to say 1-for-1 as Elise died to Janna. So, amusingly, the support just took down, oh, sneaky Zilean. The Zed now was trying his hardest to take down Irelia, but he did end up going down before he was able to do it, thanks to a nice shield from Lux, and I believe Janna shielded as well. So there was a huge, huge shield there. So he did end up going down. He was going to go ahead and try to take him down. The Zilean tried to save him, or at least keep him alive long enough to kill somebody, but it did not end up happening. So now the blue team is coming up here and going to go ahead and push this. There was the Lux ulti to just kill as many minions as possible, so the minions would push. Easy, easy. And there we go. It is now pushing. Nidalee's coming to defend. Elise is coming to defend. Caitlyn and Zilean are both mid. Unusual, by the way, to see a Zilean in-game, because he's... I don't know if he's just typically regarded to be underpowered or what's going on with him, but he... For one thing, I think it's just the fact that he doesn't do a ton of damage. He's really good at harass. If he's in mid lane, he'll just harass the heck out of you, and anytime you come up to do any spell whatsoever, he'll put a couple bombs on you and do quite a bit of damage to you. Tons of damage. No, not tons of damage, but he'll do a decent amount. Nice little engage there. Zed almost died, but he did end up going down. The Zac got stunned. His blobs are coming, but he is going to die. Yeah, he did die for sure. Now Irelia is trying to run away. Misfortune, on the other hand, is actually pushing bot. Push spot, Misfortune. But a lot of times Zilean's, he's really there for utility in that he can keep a AD carry alive. He is a walking guardian angel. When it's on cooldown, obviously. Or off cooldown, sorry. So, he's really good at that, and a lot of times you will see him there. The problem with him being in support is that to harass, he's got to put his bombs on people. And, you know, a lot of times you'd think it wouldn't be a problem because, you know, he's doing damage, and it's not something you can counter. But you've got to remember that these bombs explode doing AoE damage. So, when you're a support trying to make sure that your lane doesn't push, that your AD carry gets the CS, etc., if the bomb blows up and it's on the enemy, say on Janna, if Janna's smart, she could just go ahead and walk directly into the middle of her own minions and kill them. Granted, the kill still goes to the Zilean, but when you want it to go to the AD carry, it's not really a good thing when it goes to Zilean. By the way, Janna is just tearing this Caitlyn up. She does have her shields, so she's able to 1 versus 1 this Caitlyn with no problem at all. Caitlyn is starting to feel the burn there. She does go ahead and use her shield, but unfortunately for her, I don't think it's going to be enough, and it looks like Janna is going to take her down in a 1-for-1. Those shields were nasty. She was just able to keep herself from taking any damage whatsoever. Well, not really any damage. I mean, she got down to slightly over a quarter health. But even still, the shields were able to keep her from taking down enough damage that she was able to live and kill that Caitlyn. Caitlyn probably should have backed off a bit sooner, but she didn't. Now the Zilean just died. He did have his ulti, and he didn't use it. I don't think he figured that he was going to die quite that quickly, so he ended up dying because of it. He died because he didn't think he was going to die. Yeah, makes sense. Zed just went in on Misfortune. He did go ahead and use his flash as well as his ulti, so he did end up taking her down, but he ended up dying for it to Zac, so it was a 1-for-1 if you don't include Zilean, who's part of a different battle. So I don't really count him. And the blue team is just sitting here in this base, just killing people as they come up. Both inhibitors are up, so they are wanting to go ahead and do some damage to them, I believe. Looks like Irelia did a little bit to them. There is the thunder, or the tornado pop-up from, oh, that ulti, from the Janna. And the ulti from Lux just did a lot of damage, but it was not able to kill anybody, actually. Interestingly. It got pretty close, though. She tried to land her stun there on Mr. Zilean, but it didn't end up landing. And Nidalee's just harassing with her spears in the meantime. But the rest of the blue team is actually going to go ahead and take this down. Irelia went ahead and harassed Nidalee a decent amount. And Zilean put a bomb on her head. So she will explode, well, she did explode into the middle of the minions. Not bad. There is a second inhibitor for the blue team, and now they're pinging this tower, saying, hey, let's go ahead and head on up there. Oh, Zed is back out. He did go ahead and use his ulti, I believe, on Lux. Yeah, Lux just died because of it. There is the Caitlyn ulti on this Zac. Zac is going to go down, though, to the Zed. Zed went ahead and flashed over that wall, so he does end up going down. Irelia is trying to take somebody down. She does have her Guardian Shield. I don't think she's going to do it, though. She's going to go down. No, she does end up going down with no kills whatsoever. So, Elise died within that, but she is the only one. Misfortune's here. She went ahead and used her ulti, but it's not really going to kill anybody either. So she's going to have to fall back, as well as Janna. And the purple team has a little bit of a respite, so they can go ahead and just defend their base and wait for these inhibitors to pop back up. As long as they're not there, these super minions are going to be pushing like crazy. Actually, that one's not even a super minion, amusingly. I believe that is from one of the items, would be my guess. I'm not sure. I know there is an item that will buff up a regular cannon minion and make it into a super cannon minion, and I'm pretty sure that's what we just saw. I don't know exactly who has it. It's the equivalent of promote. No, it doesn't look like anyone has. No, doesn't look like anyone has it. So I don't know. Maybe I was just looking wrong, and it wasn't a big super minion after all. I thought it was, but apparently not. The blue team's actually waiting here at Baron buff. Again, no purple wards, so they have no idea that the blue team is preparing for this. The blue team, on the other hand, knows exactly where they are. So Caitlyn just got caught out here. She was way too far extended. She just melted to that Caitlyn, or the Misfortune again. Zed came at the Misfortune. Janna's actually pretty low. She could probably die to that Zed, but if he does end up using his ulti on her, he's not going to have it on anybody else. Zac went ahead and jumped over, punched the Zed a little bit, but didn't do too much damage to him at all. But in the meantime, he's keeping him off of the rest of his team. So Irelia is able to go in on the Zilean. Zilean had to go ahead and use his ulti on himself. Zed came in, went ahead and ultied the Misfortune. She did survive that. Zilean died as well now to Misfortune. She was pretty far away, so I guess she actually got just within range. And now the blue team's going to go ahead and go in on the Nexus turrets. I think they're going to get it. Oh, interesting. Oh, that ulti! It does take down the Nidalee inside of her, inside of the spawning summoners area. Oh, she going to die too? Yes, she goes down! And Misfortune does not. So, there we go. I believe that this is the end of this game. There is the Janna ulti to heal up her team, which was actually able to heal the Misfortune through the Nexus laser. So she was able to survive and take down the Caitlyn. So Caitlyn is not happy because Caitlyn just died, even though she was on her summoning table. Poor Caitlyn. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the items here. Again, no wards, man. That really wins games. No purple wards whatsoever. They had no idea what the blue team was, and that is a terrible mistake that is actually very common, unfortunately. I try to make sure that I don't leave big gaps like this, or, you know. I make sure that I always have at least some wards on there. So, make sure that you do that if you are a support. Even if you're not a support, honestly, everybody needs to ward. Support bears a lot of the brunt of warding, but they shouldn't be the only one doing it. And unfortunately, in this case, nobody was doing it. So, anyway, back to the items, or to the items to begin with. We've got Nidalee, who has 154 CS versus Irelia with 162. Nidalee is 555. 1-2-1-2. Versus Irelia, who is 266. The Nidalee apparently went AP Nidalee. She has a Rabadon's Death Cap, Morello Nomicon, nice cooldown reduction, Sorcerer's Shoes, Tear the Goddess, which is actually fully stacked. She did not actually grow it. And an Amplifying Tomb versus Irelia, who has Trinity Force, of course, tons of damage. Guardian Angel, Berserker's Greaves, Chain Vest, and a Doran Shield. Zed with 253 CS versus Lux with 188. Big bonus there for the Zed. And the Zed is 10-6-4 versus 6-5-10, so he's actually way ahead in gold there. He's got a Bloodthirster, Black Cleaver, Last Whisper, Mercury's Touch with the Home Guard enchant, Longsword, and a Null Magic Mantle versus Rabadon's Death Cap, Zonya's Hourglass, Athena's Unholy Grail, and Sorcerer's Shoes, no enchant. The Caitlyn is at 166 CS versus 267, also a big difference, but this time in the favor of the blue team. Wow, 17-3-5 versus 266, and that right there is a huge difference. Poor Caitlyn got shut down hard, and Misfortune just completely stomped everything. So Caitlyn sitting here with an Infinity Edge, Zeal, Berserker's Greaves, Vampiric Scepter, and Doran's Blade. She does not even have Bloodthirster. The Misfortune has double Bloodthirster, Zeal, Phantom Dancer, not Zeal, Zeal's that one. Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, Warden's Mail, interestingly, and Berserker's Greaves. We've got Zilean with 33 CS versus 13 for Janna. He is 0-6-8 versus 2-0-14. She's way ahead in gold there, and she was able to do... Oh, and she has double gold for 10. He has Merlinomicon, Sightstone, so he actually had the ability to ward. He just didn't use it. Chalice of Harmony and a Tear of the Goddess, which is not fully charged, versus Runic Bulwark, Lock of the Iron Solari, Ruby Sightstone, Ionian Boots of Lucidity with a Home Guard enchant, Cage's Lucky Pick, and Philosopher's Stone. Honestly, for Zilean, had he got a gold per 10 item, he would have been a whole lot better off, because he was not getting any gold from CS, he wasn't getting any gold from kills, he got a little bit of gold from assists, but most of that was late game. So honestly, the worst thing he could do was not get gold per 10. I would hope he at least has gold per 10 runes and masteries, but that really messed him over, and he was not able to afford much at all. The Elise is sitting here with 104 CS versus 144 for Zac. Interesting game. I do kind of like seeing Zac. I don't know if I really want to play him, but we'll see. She is at 275 versus 353. The Elise has a Rylai's Crystal Scepter, Haunting Guise, Sorcerer's Shoes, Amplifying Tome, and her Hunter's Machete versus Spirit Massage. Ooh, that makes sense with his little passive I step on myself and heal myself thing. Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, Lock of the Iron Solari, Ninja Tabby, and a Ruby Crystal. So that is the end of this game. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I shall see you guys next time. Have a good night. Bye.